Hi everyone, I'm back in the Community Transit break room to bring you another Atlas cooking demo. This week we're talking all about heart health and thinking of ways to reduce the risk of developing heart disease, which includes a variety of different lifestyle factors like physical activity, stress management, and of course nutrition. As you may have heard, nuts are particularly heart healthy, and that's because they have a lot of unsaturated or healthy fats in them. Specifically, some nuts are really rich in omega-3s, which is a certain type of unsaturated fat that the research has shown to be more effective in reducing the risk of chronic diseases, including heart disease. And nuts and seeds also are great sources of fiber and protein, making them a really great snack or a really great way to round out any meal. And one really great way to eat nuts and seeds is by roasting them. Roasting nuts and seeds brings out their natural flavors, which really gives it that deep, rich, nutty aroma and flavor to it. And so it can be great on its own, or you can add it to salads or pastas, grilled cheese sandwiches. Even putting it with roasted veggies is really good too. There are a lot of different things that you can do with roasted nuts and seeds. You can either just throw them in the oven, plain and simple, with nothing on them, or you can dress it up with oils or different seasonings or other add-ins to really change the flavor and the texture, maybe making them sweet or spicy or savory or some combination of the three. Today, for our cooking demo, we will be making a sweet and spicy roasted nut and seed blend in the toaster oven, which is even easier than doing it in the main oven, and you can even do it in the break rooms here at Community Transit, as long as you don't mind sharing, because it'll make the hallway smell really good. Let's take a look. First, you'll need to preheat the oven to 350 degrees or 325 if you're using the toaster oven. Then line a baking sheet with parchment paper, and we'll start with the nuts and seeds. So you'll need 1 to 2 cups total, and those should be raw, unsalted, and whole ideally. Chopped nuts are fine, but they will cook faster, so keep that in mind when we're thinking about cooking times. And you can also think about experimenting with the different types of flavors or textures that different nuts have. Some of them will crisp differently, or they have different amounts of oils, so they'll give off a different flavor. So you can really just have fun experimenting here. For this recipe, I'll be doing 1 cup of mixed nuts and another 1/4 cup of pepitas or shelled pumpkin seeds. And next we'll talk about the seasonings to flavor your roasted nuts and seeds. So today I'll be using a 1/2 tablespoon of maple syrup, or you could also use honey. So the difference is that if you're using something like seeds where you want it to be more clustered together, I'd recommend honey. Or if you're doing something more nut-oriented, I would choose maple syrup to give the nuts a nice even coating. You can also add 1/2 tablespoon of an oil. I'll be using butter because I like the flavor and texture of it best, but you could also choose something more heart healthy if you prefer. You can add a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then a pinch of cayenne pepper if you like a little spice. And you can also try experimenting with things like fresh rosemary or cinnamon or pumpkin pie spice. You can really add whatever you want here. And next we'll add the seasonings to the nuts and seeds in the baking tray. And go ahead and give them a stir until they're all nice and evenly coated, and then spread them out in a single layer on the tray. Then we'll bake it for 5 to 15 minutes, stirring every few minutes, and the baking time is really going to depend on which nuts and seeds you added. So seeds or smaller nuts are going to cook a lot quicker than the larger nuts like cashews or walnuts or anything like that. So be sure to check on it every few minutes and keep baking until you think they're done. You'll know that they're done when they're lightly golden brown in color and the maple syrup is mostly set in. And mainly you'll be able to tell because it'll smell super good. So you can either then enjoy them fresh while they're hot, or you can also store them in an airtight container for a couple days at room temperature, but you can also store roasted nuts and seeds in the fridge or freezer, which is nice to know. Hopefully you got some ideas for incorporating more nuts and seeds and other heart-healthy foods into your life, and if you would like more help, you can always reach out to me for a nutrition or wellness consult. Thanks for watching.